those eyes.
And use that brain.
And use those thighs.
Hey team, yay team, break right through the line.
There is no stronger challenge than an independent woman.
My guest today is nominated for a Tony Award every year, or at least the last 2 years. This time he's up for playing Kristin Chenoweth's strapping boyfriend, Bruce Granite, in On the 20th Century. Hey, what's up, Andy Karl?
Hey, what's happening? Thanks for having me back.
Look at that, Tony Award regular.
So, very,
crazy.
Very, very cool.
You have a lot to live up to next year.
I know. It's a lot of respect, but next year, everybody's going to be sick of me next year. Just be like, who?
We're not sick of you. It's so great. But what is how's it going over on that locomotive of a hit over there on the 20th Century?
It's such a huge hit. And we had our day off yesterday, so it was nice. It was a nice sunshiny day. I got sunburn on my shoulders, so step away from it, and then you go back. And now I can't wait to get back in and start to do all my bits.
You could actually, but that works. Was Bruce is supposed to be like a young up and coming Hollywood star, right?
Yeah.
So you could have a great tan. I mean, you don't have to worry about
which I never do because I'm like, I'm Polish and German and I burn easily.
Like when you were playing Rocky Balboa last year in Rocky, in your last Tony nomination, I feel like for that one you probably had to look like a little pasty. Like Rocky does not he's not sunbathing.
Yeah, I mean, my hair was dark. I was Italian. He's not sunbathing. He's constantly in the gym. So yeah, it was all the same things with darker hair and less fat. So I've gained a few pounds.
Are you saying you have fat now?
I was very, very skinny last year. It was down to like 2% fat, which is kind of ridiculous. And then, I stopped doing the show, and then I keep going to the gym, and I put on all the clothes, but the clothes all of a sudden have the extra sauce right here. And I'm just like, man, that stinks.
I'm not
I want that body last year.
Yeah, you want that one?
It's too hard. You have to literally kill yourself for an entire year to have that body.
The physical comedy stuff that you're pulling off in On the 20th Century is amazing, and
Thank you.
I mean, it's hilarious. You get hit? You get hit a lot. Like you get hit by the door, and there's a lot of it's crazy. I mean, you're like a monkey up there. What are you doing up there?
I mean, I'm still getting pounded all over the place, by doors and falling on the floor and stuff like that. And I have all these comedy bruises, which
do you?
I mean, I guess I've had comedy bruises in the past, but that's the term this year. Mark Lynn Baker was like, "Oh, comedy bruise." I was like, "Yeah, I have one here and here and here and here," and actually, it's a very well-known term because Carol Burnett came to see the show, I think 3 weeks ago. She came backstage and she was like, do you have the comedy bruises?
Oh, wow.
Because she would have them all the time from her show.
Come on, Carol Burnett.
We had a simpatico moment.
That's awesome.
I can't, that's sort of, I'm going to live with that forever.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
When you're doing a show like that in rehearsals, and you guys probably all think you're hilarious in rehearsals, but is there ever that fear that you're going to actually get in front of an audience and that they're just going to just sit stone-faced?
We didn't have an audience until the first preview, so we were in the rehearsal room with no audience, and it was petrifying to me when we finally got an audience of 700 people sitting there waiting for us to do all these things, and I had all these planned things that I assumed would work. Yeah. And a lot of them landed, but a lot we made even bigger because we wanted to make sure they drove them home.
Right.
I got a lot of collaboration going on, doing some of the three, making sure to do the comedies in threes and all the bits, the picture bits work out well. So it was terrifying, and now it's still very nerve-wracking. My first entrance is not for 35 minutes into the show. Right. And I have to basically, be funny. I'm like, all right. So it's kind of like, it's nerve-wracking, and I try very hard, and a lot of times I nail it, and sometimes you get those audiences that just are watching and paying attention and not laughing. You're like, oh, what am I doing wrong?
Let's talk about your leading lady. There's a lady who was attached to this show before anyone else, Kristin Chenoweth. I feel like for years I've heard people say, I want to see Kristin Chenoweth do On the 20th Century. It was sort of like this role everybody brought up for her, and then she finally was doing it. So how did you get to be her boyfriend on stage? How'd that happen?
That's a good question, because I have no idea. But there is one person that can do this role and do it justice, and that is Kristin Chenoweth. Yeah. She's amazing. She's an inspiration to everybody on stage. We all show up and give 120% because she's so dedicated. Yeah. I don't know her personally from before, and then we met for the first time at some function to say on the 20th Century is coming to Broadway.
Oh, wow.
And immediately we hit it off. It was sort of like two comedian, goofy kids meeting each other and like, oh, this is going to work. Because she's, 4 foot something, I'm 6'2", and I looked down at her, I was like, this is going to be funny.
Yeah. So when did you first realize there's a lot of physical humor with like you lifting her? You're literally like working out with Kristen Chenoweth. She's like your dead weight. Like I mean, like there are parts of the show. What was that like in rehearsal when you started like throwing her around and?
She's totally up for everything.
Are
which
you
makes
giving her
even
comedy
better.
bruises?
I'm sure I do, and she doesn't say anything because she's not that kind of girl. She's
Right.
just like, oh yeah, it hurt a little today. I'm so sorry. I try to take care, but it was one of the things where we had to go for it, and luckily she's just so cool to do whatever and try everything. I mean, I had her, I had literally pushed her over top of my head at one point for a bit. We tried that, and it's like, oh, that's way too scary. Yeah, I agree. And then I, was doing squats with her at some point.
Right.
And then the barbell thing came in, and it was like, oh, perfect. It works, and it actually gets a big laugh every night. And I didn't know it was going to work that well, but thankfully it did. But I was carrying over this with Bruce Granite.
Yeah.
This role, he's very egotistical. He's very self-centered, and also about all his image. He loves the camera and all that kind of stuff. And since I was just carrying over this sort of like Rocky physique, I just sort of switched it and made it not a humble guy and made him into somebody who was really into showing off his physique and his charms and his smile and his eyes. And so it sort of blended in, and especially because she weighs all of like 80-something pounds.
Right. Yeah.
Easy breezy, no problem. I can do that every night.
Wow.
Do curls.
I laughed my butt off when I saw that show. You were so funny, so well deserved. You won an Out of Critics Circle Award. Congratulations!
Thank you very
Look
much.
at that.
OCC.
Win an award, Tony nomination. You were nominated for a couple of Broadway.com Audience Choice Awards.
Yep.
And you and Chenoweth were up for favorite on stage pair.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I didn't go because I didn't win any of the Broadway.com Audience Choice Award because the audience.
Well, I don't have any say over it. I can't even vote. It's for the fans. So
yeah, no. Totally not.
Did you campaign at all, or?
I tweeted out that I would literally
You said
tongue kiss
Chenoweth
and do dumbbell presses with her.
You
It
promised,
didn't win,
so that's we're never.
It
gonna
didn't
get to
really
see that.
carry
We're
over.
never actually going to get to see you do
Audiences didn't want to see.
Sorry, you guys. Sorry.
I apologize.
Actually, your wife Orphe won a Broadway.com Audience Choice Award for Legally Blonde.
Yeah.
So I guess you have to look at hers all the time.
2007. Yeah.
You have to sort of live in the shadow of that that honor.
It's something that she has to look at my Out of Critics Award
Yeah.
now. So, but that's the thing. It's tit for tat with us.
Well, maybe next year.
And then I
we
stick my
give
tongue
out
out
these
her.
awards every year.
I say,
so.
I won.
Right.
And then she holds up her Broadway.com Audience Choice Award.
yeah.
And then I'm sad.
I think she holds it up I think she walks around town with it.
Because, it's all about the audience.
It's about the audience.
And the audience clearly has no love.
You got nominated. I mean,
Oh, I thought you handled the nominations.
No. The
That's
fans
all-
nominated
the
you.
fans
You just didn't. I'm sorry.
Thank
about
you
that.
for the nomination.
Sorry, this is super awkward.
And never win.
About your wife for a minute. How does she feel about all this, Orphe, who we love? How does she feel about all this chemistry with you and Chenoweth?
Oh,
You guys
they're really good friends, by the way.
It's not awkward that you like.
No. Which is hilarious because in the face of doing things for comedy, it's so silly. I literally have my face in her crotch at one point during the show. And I think about it, later, I hope she's not embarrassed by me having my face in her crotch every night, sniffing.
Sniffing Chenoweth.
Sniffing Chenoweth.
That could be your memoir.
The new show. Sniffing Kristen Chenoweth. Yeah, but I guess in the face of it being just so silly and so, I want to say two-dimensional. I try to add as much complexity behind why I'm sniffing her crotch. What's the subtext of why I'm sniffing her crotch? Of course I would sniff her crotch because in my brain that would connect us. But when it's that comedy, it's sort of it's so lighthearted. It's kind of you just have to laugh at it and move on. It's never about
Right,
Why
right.
are you sniffing her crotch
Yeah.
at home every night with Orphe? Like, she gets it. And when she sniffs some other guy's crotch in a
Yeah.
show, I will have the same understanding.
She's also like your biggest cheerleader, your wife.
Oh my God, she's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, she's loving
she's
it.
been like, I always say she's my rock, but she's totally like everything else. She's my rock, my fire, my passion, my reason for getting up in the morning and going to all these things,
Right.
all these like these luncheons and stuff like that. Which is, it's weird. It's very bizarre to put any sort of, I guess, art in competition, but
Right.
it's also kind of great to, I don't know, regale art itself through competition. I don't know. So it's very weird. But she's like, you just have to go. You have to get up and do all this stuff and make sure it happens. And so I get up and do all these things because she's really championing me, and it's great.
Let's talk about Rocky for a minute. So you were incredible in Rocky. And Rocky obviously didn't make it in the long run. It was a huge production.
Yeah, huge production.
It really
Short
felt
run.
like a lot of it was kind of on your shoulders. I mean, you were Rocky in Rocky.
Yeah, I kind of, which was something I didn't take lightly. I was like, I started working out before even the auditions happening. I was like, I'm setting my mind.
Yeah, you transformed your body.
I'm literally going for everything. It was like mind, body set for Rocky 24/7 for, I guess for like a year straight.
Right.
And I'd worked on it for like 3 years, so
Right.
I always had it in the back of my mind.
Right.
But like a year straight, it was all that, which is terrible to do to somebody like Orphe. Just like I'm coming home and all I'm thinking about is like this
Right.
show and
Right.
trying to generate every possible cell towards Rocky. But I just knew that it was going to take that much in order to step up to the plate of that role and that show.
But here's
And
my
also-
question.
Yes.
So when you put that much of yourself into a role, is it then not just an acting job? And is it, when the show doesn't make it, when the show fails, does it make it harder? Was it hard for you when the show didn't catch on?
What was good for me is that I'd put so much into it that it was sort of a cathartic thing. When it ended, I was like, you know what? I did everything I possibly could, and I ended up going to being nominated for a Tony, and I ended up, having the respect of friends and coworkers, and people saw what I was doing.
Right,
And
right.
At the end of the day, I walk away with that, and that's fantastic. The sad part about it was working on it for 3 years, seeing it end and looking around and seeing the faces that I had seen for the past 3 years working on this thing, and everybody was, it became this thing, and it was an end to that life.
Right.
And all that work.
Right.
There was a lot of work put into that by everybody
Right.
who was on that. Not just me, but certainly Aaron's and Flaherty, they worked incredibly hard. Alex Timbers worked hard. And,
Yeah.
some of the stuff didn't get its justice as far as like award nominations, but I think people saw what was going on, saw how interesting a development it was, and how we were taking outside of the box. But with the show that Rocky the musical may have not been like. At first, when you think about it, is that a really good idea? You sure you want Rocky to sing? But I'm sure there's been crazier ideas. But at the end of the day, everybody put a lot into it because it meant so much to us.
Yeah. So there's no Rocky 2 next season on Broadway?
I don't know, maybe.
Maybe. Oh.
That's I don't know. I could win the fight.
So let me go back for a minute. So you grew up where, in Maryland, right?
Balmer, Maryland.
Balmer. And when did you first? I know you did like Little Abner. I read like in high school, right?
Yeah.
Was that like your first bit?
That was the first laugh I ever got, was doing that show.
And who you were playing, like
General
some
Bull
crazy,
Moose with like
I
a
don't know that.
mustache, and like he was like the villain of the show. I played all the villains because there's one guy, Evan Farmer, he played all the leads.
Oh, okay.
So it was always this thing where even Lil Abner, I thought like, oh, I might get it because I'm like bigger than him, and but he got the lead, and then I was playing the villain. I played Judd Fry in Oklahoma.
Oh, you were always like the
Curly.
scary weird dude.
Yeah. So it was, and I played Judd Fry with like a cast on my foot from a skateboarding accident. But I built a boot around it. I never told you this story.
No.
I literally like 2 or 3 days before the actual show, I was skateboarding and I broke my 5th metatarsal, which is the pinky toe on one side, and I had a cast on my foot, and I walked into rehearsal and everybody was like, what? And I was like, don't worry, I can handle this. And I built a boot around it, and that was like my
Like a big
first.
thick boot.
Yeah,
Jeff Fry.
matched
Jeff
the
Fry
other
would wear
boot.
those.
I like cut some other boot and made
Wow.
the so
We worked it out.
I think I went to I don't know, Payless and got 2 boots and
You're kind of now always like the piece of ass in a lot of shows. I was realizing that as I was looking. You've taken over Evan's gig, I guess, right?
yeah. Yeah, look. Well, yeah. I mean, now I still feel like I'm the villain of this show.
Okay.
He's
The
sort of
villainous,
the villain.
villainous piece of ass.
Yeah, he's the guy in the way of
Let me put it
things
this way.
being happy.
You wear a lot of tight pants on Broadway.
Yes.
That is like when you go in for a costume fitting, you must be like, okay, this is clearly just gonna be tight.
I'm gonna go with it because hey, I get to work. But yeah, William Ivy Long is like always like, can we just bring the pants in just tight? We'll sew this and we'll make sure that everything is. But I've done some squats and I have the so I'll carry it as long as I can.
Right.
Before the whole thing falls and drops. My ass is on the floor. I don't know. It's curious to be in that. I mean, I was being most actors I'm sure are insecure in some way. I was never like the secure like the macho guy.
Yeah.
That does all the macho things.
Were you always good with girls? Like in high school, did you have like girlfriends, and were you always like?
I mean, I was that long-term girlfriend thing. I was
Right.
there like 2 years, 3
Okay.
years. I don't think I was like the worst, but I certainly wasn't like
You
the
weren't
smooth
Evan.
operator.
You weren't Evan.
I wasn't Evan.
No.
Evan had all the girls. Absolutely.
You were Jed Fry.
That was that guy. I was Jeff Fry.
He's
I was,
creepy. That guy's creepy.
Yeah, I was always the goofy guy, or like he was.
Yeah.
I still am.
Yeah.
I still am backstage. It's still sort of like I'm living in this time capsule. Still from like when I first got into theater when I was a kid to now. I still have some of the same feelings that I
Right.
do, but some we grow out of them,
Right,
or we
right.
find the way to work with them.
Right.
So to be like a stud on stage is much more different for me because it's an acting choice, and
Right.
it also comes with especially this show comes with a lot of hilarity. It comes with a lot of slapstick and sort of goofiness, things
Yeah.
you wouldn't expect from
Yeah.
the stud.
But when you look at your resume, it does kind of look like once you put a UPS uniform on, your career really took off.
Oh yeah.
Like you were the UPS guy in Legally Blonde.
Yeah,
And then
I
if you
mean-
look at you haven't left Broadway since. Do you ever put it on at home for Orphe?
I have the hat still.
Oh, you have the hat.
I have the hat. Yeah. Now it's like Rocky T-shirts at home that are all cut up and stink.
But you must feel good when you look at all the shows you've been able to do. I mean,
Yeah.
you've been able to
Thank
do.
you. Yeah.
Like what? All right, let's just get. What are your 3 favorite roles you got to do?
But great
Can I
roles.
throw one?
Yeah.
Tommy DeVito.
Yeah, I was going
Oh
to
my
say
God.
Tommy DeVito.
The Jersey Boys.
For me, as an actor, changed
Yeah.
my confidence level too, because it was monologue after monologue, straight out to the audience
Yeah.
in a very way of getting the audience to go with you. And so, I was like, Tommy, that's a song. Oh, what a nice, say sweary la. I can still
Yeah.
do the whole show in my head. That was a great role. I had so much fun and
You
a
were
good
awesome in
family
it.
of actors to be with at Jersey
Yeah.
Boys, and I'm sure it's still the same over there. Altar Boys was great.
Yes, Luke.
Yeah, Luke and Altar Boys, and that was again because it was such a family of guys, and we just had like a reunion recently
Yeah.
we at Studio 54 where we
Yeah.
all did a couple of our songs. It was so easy to just like slip right back into Luke.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of other great shows. I mean, Legally Blonde was fun just with the character stuff and working with my wife. It was kind of interesting. But Rocky just takes the cake. So those would be my
You've
3.
been able to do a lot.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? So what now?
I don't know. I think people are getting sick of me. I got to do something else.
No one's getting sick of you. No, it's good. It's
No,
all good.
I'm working on my own stuff. I'm working on
You still
stuff
writing?
I'm still
Writing
writing, but it's always tough when you're working. But it's finding the right in, and hopefully you can make that happen. And working hard is something that you're passionate about.
Right.
And I just got this great compliment from Lin-Manuel.
Miranda.
Who was like a genius. He was doing Hamilton, and they were talking about like, oh, we should do a rap about. The girls were like, we should do a rap about our bustles, and he was like, no. Andy Karl
Bustle
killed
Fluffer.
it. I can't improve upon that.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was like, coming from him,
Wow.
it was like it's
Wow,
incredible.
Bustle Fluffer. Look
He
it
was
up,
like
everybody.
Bustle Fluffer was like
That's awesome.
That was, That he can't do any better than that.
You can't top Andy Karl and the Bustles.
Exactly.
You can't make a better
No,
rep
you
than
can't
that.
do it. Trademarked.
Well, I'm so thrilled. I love everything you've been able to do on Broadway and off. I can't wait to see what you do next. And someday, I'm sure someday the Broadway.com audience will give you your Audience Choice Award.
Yes.
It's obviously going to happen.
Yeah, and I'm waiting for that day.
Yeah.
Trust me. But I know that this season,
Yeah.
there was a category that was left out. And, and I know it because I found out about it.
Oh, what?
And I'm surprised
What,
that
what was that? Best tight pants or
No, it was
favorite tight pants performance.
it's best joke for not winning the Broadway.com Audience Choice Awards, and I have the nominees.
Oh, well,
I have the
great,
nominees
because I don't know them.
right here. Again, this is
Oh, it looks very official.
it's very official.
That's like the
well,
diploma
it's-
paper.
It's
with the border. And
you can all live and learn.
So you're gonna read.
Yes,
read.
and again,
okay,
this is
okay.
best joke, and I know this to be a true category. Best joke for not winning a Broadway.com Audience Choice Award.
Okay.
And the nominees are
Okay.
number 1. Who do I got to sleep with to get a Broadway.com Audience Choice Award?
Okay. Let's just keep going. Keep going.
No, I know. It has nothing to do with you. It's all about the audience.
Right. Yeah. No, I
And they
know. That's
refused.
not at all how
They
things happen.
refused to love me. Nominee number 2.
Okay.
I could have won the Broadway.com Audience Choice Award in my category, but something rotten happened. Boing! It's a two-parter. But I'll be a good Christian and take it in stride.
Got it.
Oh!
Yep.
Hey. Nominee number 3 for Best Joke for not winning a Broadway.com Audience Choice Award. Christian Chenoweth and I could have won the Broadway.com Audience Choice Award for Best Onstage Pair, but I suppose our hilarious antics never land. It's a three-parter.
Because they won. Oh.
Yeah. Speaking of Best Onstage Pair, Kristen should have her own nomination. Zoing! That's my best joke so far. Nominee number 4. It's okay I didn't win the Broadway.com Audience Choice Award. I probably would have had too much glee and smashed it accidentally. Yay!
Wow. Andy, there's a clear, I will speak for the audience. There's a clear winner in this category, and it is Mr. Andy Karl. Congratulations! Congratulations, Andy Karl!
Oh, my
Andy
God.
Karl! Oh, the trophy!
Thank you.
It all happened for you, man. It all happened.
It's going to be a good year. It's going to be a good year.
Well, congratulations. Okay. All right. Enough, Andy. Okay. Yeah. There you go. It's an official trophy. So you enjoy that. Put that right next to Orphe's.
Thank you.
And that looks great. The confetti looks
This is
awesome.
so not Annalie Ashford's one that you guys didn't send to her yet.
Well, Andy, how long is this on 20th Century going?
July 19th.
July 19th.
Is our last performance.
American Airlines Theater. Everybody has to see it. This guy
Come
is
see it.
hilarious.
Come see us on the Tonys. I think Kristen's doing a number on
June
the
7th.
Tonys.
June 7th.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
What are you gonna wear?
And she's hosting.
We're gonna wear confetti in your hair. What are you gonna wear?
Absolutely. Confetti. I'll be wearing Kenneth Cole tuxedo.
Nice. I'm so thrilled we're able to work this out for you. Tony Schmoney, you got yourself a Broadway.com Audience Choice Award.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.